On one hand, we have a pasuk, Kol hanefesh lebeis Yaakov, all the soul that was to the house of Yaakov, haba'a mitzrayma, that came towards Egypt, shivim was 70. So there were 70 souls, okay. But let's ponder, weren't Avraham and Sarah megayer thousands? From the Rambam, it seems, in his Akdama to Hilchas Avodah Zarah, that Avodas Kechavim, that there was thousands, perhaps, that they had been megayer. They brought them tachas kanfei hashchina, Rashi says. That Avram was megayer the men and Sarah megayeris the women, which is an interesting way that we see that they did kiruv. So where did they all end up? And it's quite the mystery. And I don't know if this is the accepted answer, but it has been suggested and I'd like to share it. When you break down Avraham's achievements, perhaps he goes down as a goat, the greatest of all time. And what are the few exposed stories that we hear about? We don't hear openly about him jumping into the Kivishon Ha'esh, the fiery furnace. We hear about him davening to save Sodom. That's a long narrative in the Torah. Maybe save there's this many, maybe it's less, maybe it's this, maybe it's this. And ultimately what happened? He was unsuccessful with that. Hashem said no, Sodom was turned over. He brought in angels to do achnasas orchim, but Rashi tells us that angels don't actually eat. They did it because they didn't want to change the minhag of where they were. So he also did achnasas orchim, but angels don't consume food. Much of what we see from Avraham's life was all of the efforts he put in, but ultimately sometimes it didn't work out. Maybe could it be that these 70 souls went off? I've seen it somewhere, and please forgive me, I don't remember where it was. I looked for it and I could not find it. But the 70 souls, where was everybody? There should have been hundreds of thousands of Jews by now. Perhaps they went off. Perhaps it didn't pan out. Perhaps the cholent was good, or they liked the kiruv of meals. They loved the Yiddishkeit, but it had gotten hard maybe. And they weren't able to continue. There was only 70 left. But still, look at the greatness of Avraham Avinu. He's put as an avos for how much he did, even though it wasn't necessarily a matzasi. There was the yagati. We should re-inspire ourselves. The results are in Hashem's hands. We just have to give it our all to be yagati as hard as possible, and then we hope Hashem blesses it.